This lesson is going to help you remember or learn how to multiply decimals and fractions, otherwise known as rational numbers. Let's review our sign rules. It's important to remember that when you're multiplying numbers with the same signs, you can expect a positive answer. If you multiply numbers with different signs, you can expect a negative answer. Let's look at some multiplication with integers. The first problem is a positive 4 times a negative 6. The answer is negative 24. The second one is positive 5 times positive 8. The answer is positive 40. The third one is negative 3 times negative 2. Signs are the same, so it'll be a positive 6. And the last one is negative 7 times positive 9, and the answer is negative 63. Let's look at our first example with decimals. I have 4 hundredths times negative 6 tenths. When you multiply, it's easier, I think, to put them in column form, and I tend to put the one with more digits on top. You do not have to line up your decimals when you're multiplying. So if I put the longer one on top, I'm going to multiply 6 times 4 is 24, so bring down the 4 and carry the 2. 6 times 0 is 0, plus the 2 is 2. Now, to worry about your decimals, you look at how many numbers are after the decimal in each of the factors. So I have a 0, a 4, and a 6. All three are to the right of the decimal. So that shows me in my answer I'm going to have to move the decimal 3 places from the right to the left. I had to create a placeholder of 0, so my final answer is going to be negative since the signs were different. It's negative 24 thousandths. My next problem is negative 4 and 8 hundredths times negative 25 hundredths. When I line them up, the 4 and 8 hundredths is on top, 25 hundredths is below. I'll expect a positive answer since both signs are the same. So I'll start and multiply 5 on the top row. 5 times 8 is 40, carry the 4. 0 times 5 is 0, plus 4 is 4, and then 4 times 5 is 20. Since I'm going to work on the second digit now, the 2, so I'm going to scoot over 1 in my answer, and under the 4 I'll say 2 times 8 is 16. Put the 6 down and carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 2 times 4 is 8. Draw your line and add, and your decimals again will be taken care of by how many digits are to the right of the decimal in your factors. Since they are 4, I'll move the decimal from right to left 4 places, 1 and 2 hundredths, and it's positive. Try this one. If you'll try it, you can put the recording on pause so that you can try it on your own, and then you can resume play, and I'll show you how to work it out, and you can check your answer. So 37 and 1/10 I put on top, and 48 hundredths is underneath. You do not have to line up your decimal, but you can pause it now if you'd like to work it on your own. Eight times 1 is 8. 7 times 8 is 56. Carry the 5. 8 times 3 is 24, plus the 5 is 29. For the second row, scoot over 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 7 times 4 is 28. Write the 8 and carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And then we add 10, carry the 1, 17, plus 1 is 18, carry the 1, 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and bring down the 1. And I'll have 3 digits to move the decimal past. My answer is 17 and 808 thousandths, and it's negative because my signs are different. Let's look at how we attack the fraction multiplication. It's really not going to be too difficult. I think it's easier than adding fractions because you don't have to have the same denominator. You can get the same denominator, but it's not necessary, and it makes your numbers bigger than necessary to multiply actually. But you would get the same answer if you didn't make any mistakes along the way. Notice this is a positive times a negative. A positive times a negative is a negative. Now you don't have to get the same denominator, so at this point I want to check to see if I can do any cross simplification. 2 and 9 share no factors. Sadly 1 and 5 don't either, so I'm going to multiply straight across then. Numerators times numerator and denominator times denominator. It will be negative 2/45. My next problem has a mixed fraction. negative 2 1/3 times 5 10/13. To make these improper, I'm going to multiply 2 times 3 and then add the 1. So that's going to become negative 7/3. Keep the same denominator. And for the second one, I'll say 5 times 13 and then add the 10. That'll be 75/13. Signs are different, so I'm going to have a negative answer. Now if you'll notice here, 7 and 13 don't share any factors, but 3 and 75 do. So you're either going to simplify at your end answer or try to simplify before you actually multiply. 3 and 75 share 3. 3 divides 3 one time, and it divides 75 25 times. So now when I multiply straight across, I have smaller numbers to multiply, and it aids me in simplifying in the end. So 7 times 25, if you're not sure what that is, take it off to the side and do your multiplication, and you'll find that it's 175. So my numerator will be 175, my denominator will be 1 times 13, or 13, so it's negative 175/13. Now I'm happy with this answer. These numerator and denominator do not share any factors, but if you want to take it off to the side and divide it to see what it would be as a mixed fraction, 175 divided by 13, if you divide, you'll find that it will go 13 whole times with 6 left over, so your final answer in mixed fraction form would be negative 13 6/13. Let's do another example. Here it's a negative times a negative, so I can expect a positive answer. If you change 4 3/8 to improper, it would be 4 times 8 is 32, plus 3 is 35. Keep your same denominator of 8. And 1 7/9 would become 9 times 1 is 9, plus 7 is 16, so 16/9. I can look diagonally and see that 8 and 16 share 8. 8 divides 8 one time. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So 35 times 2 would be 70, and 1 times 9 is 9. And to change that to be a mixed fraction, off to the side, you can divide 70 by 9. It will go 7 times with 7 left over, so 7 7/9. Okay, here's a last one to try on your own. If you want to pause the video so that you can try it, and then push play if you want to check your answer against my work. This is a negative times a negative, so I can expect a positive answer. So if you change both of these fractions to be improper, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 11/4 times 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 is 49/8. Now these share nothing diagonally or vertically, so the simplification inside the problem is not going to happen. We'll have to check at the end to see if I have any factors they share. 11 times 49, if you multiply that off to the side, you'll get 539. That will be my numerator, and 4 times 8 is 32. If you're not happy with that answer, if you want to make it a mixed fraction, divide 539 by 32, and you'll find that the answer is 16 and 27/32. Again, it's positive because the signs are the same. Just remember, try to cross-simplify with your fractions, and always watch your decimals and your signs.